Hello. Thanks for joining us on our live stream of our first ever startup showcase for VentureLink at NJIT. We're so excited to have you join us during this live stream. My team and I are incredibly proud of what these students have done in preparation for today, and I really cannot wait to get started. But first, let me introduce our team. My name is Will Lutz, and I'm the General Manager for Entrepreneurship at the New Jersey Innovation Institute and co-director of VentureLink at NJIT.
I'm Kat Savalas. I am VentureLink's program director.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Samuelson. I'm NJII's Entrepreneurial Director of Growth.
This wonderful team has been working tirelessly to train and coach and mentor these students, and they deserve my thanks. And a special thanks in particular to Kat for putting all this together. Thank you so much, Kat. You've been so great. So next, I'll tell you a little bit about us. We are the New Jersey Innovation Institute. We're a nonprofit created by and working in partnership with NJIT. Our mission is to further research, innovation, and entrepreneurship all across the state of New Jersey. In addition to entrepreneurship, which is my division, we have other focused division areas such as tech and data, healthcare, biopharma, defense and heavy industry, and human capital. NJII is the central hub for innovation in the state, and I highly recommend going to njii.com, signing up for our newsletter, stay up to date with the latest events and opportunities.
And what is VentureLink? VentureLink is a startup incubator and co-working space that NJII and NJIT run together for students and for the New Jersey public at large. VentureLink is the largest incubator in New Jersey and the fourth largest in the United States. We have co-working space and private office space, including wet labs that are available to any entrepreneur. Our pride is the brand new VentureLink co-working space and Cafe Commons, which opened up this past fall.
We run a number of community events through the year, including workshops, guest speakers, and professional networking events. All of these events are open to the public and designed to help foster the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the region. We invite all of you to join.
You can go to venturelink.org to sign up for our newsletter, so you'll be the first to know about upcoming virtual and in-person events, which we're hoping will be widely available after COVID is brought under control.
Now at VentureLink, our first mission is to support startups of all shapes and sizes, and that means our startup support programs.
We offer the hands-on experience, education, and coaching that has been proven to help entrepreneurs succeed. That includes connections to other successful entrepreneurs and investors, mentor office hours with the VentureLink team, and cohort-based programs like our summer incubator. Like many of you, COVID has forced us to be more virtual. We decided to launch not only our first virtual program, but our first cohort-based training. This group of impressive students and recent graduates completed our 8-week intensive course focused on the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. That includes customer discovery, communications and messaging, marketing and sales, and pitching to both investors and potential customers.
The NJIT student entrepreneurs that will pitch today represent some of the best and brightest our university has to offer. They come from all over NJIT. They come from the Hillier College of Design and Architecture, the Yingwu College of Computing, the Newark College of Engineering, and the Albert Dorman Honors College.
Before we continue any further, we have to say thank you to our sponsors. The New Jersey Health Foundation is a great supporter of health-based entrepreneurship in our state, so thank you for all that you do. You can learn more about them at njhealthfoundation.org. Jeff and his team at Jeffrey Sobel Consulting do phenomenal work supporting nonprofits all over the United States. If you'd like to learn more about them, head to jeffreysobel.com. We could not have done this without their support, which helps us keep this program free and available for entrepreneurs.
With all of our thank yous and intros out of the way, it's time to enjoy the main event. Below this video on the live chat, our founders will be available for live Q&A. Make sure you register with YouTube so you can join in the chat.
All right, let the showcase begin.
Hi, my name is Nick Irwin, and today I'm here to talk about my company, Surefire Lacrosse. Just a bit of background about myself. I'm a Division I lacrosse player, assistant coach at my local high school, and athletic trainer of 5+ years. I run Surefire Lacrosse, where we are launching the Surefire Lacrosse Training Grip. an aid that guides lacrosse stick handholds for new athletes to the sport. Made to fit over any standard size shaft, our grip ensures that every young athlete who wants to play will learn the right way the first time. Now, before we start talking about our product, I want to give a brief history of lacrosse. The game was started by Native Americans in the eastern half of North America, and has since blown up in popularity across the country, having hotbeds on both coasts of the United States. This is a chart taken from the 2018 U.S. Lacrosse Participation Report that shows the total percentage growth of high school lacrosse participation, which is 105% between the years 2006 and 2018, making it the fastest growing sport in America, and it still is to this day. Now, with this expansion comes a few questions that needs to be answered. As the sport grows, there's going to be a need for coaches in non-hotbed areas. Athletes are going to be picking up a stick for the first time, and they're going to have to teach themselves if they do not have access to high-quality coaching. These athletes are going to have to use online resources, which ultimately will not be enough and will never replace in-person one-on-one coaching. Also, COVID-19 will change the way practices are held moving forward. Coaches are going to have to put more responsibility on their athletes to develop individually outside of practice. And if they are still learning and are still new to the game, they're also going to have to use these online resources. Now, how is this problem going to be addressed? First, I want you to picture yourself in the shoes of one of these athletes picking up a stick for the first time. You scoop the ball into your stick and it feels like you're trying to balance a tennis ball on a tennis racket. You go to throw the ball, but it feels like you're trying to swing a sledgehammer that's not abundantly heavy at the top. As you keep playing, you keep getting more frustrated because the mechanics just feel so awkward and so unnatural. You get too frustrated, you put down the stick, you go inside, you put on ESPN, and there's a professional game on television. You sit and watch, and as you watch, you wonder to yourself, how do you get this? Which is a video of a professional lacrosse player playing wall ball, making it seem so effortless. From this, which is a video of a second grade game, and you can see the players are passing to their teammates and the ball is bouncing 6 feet in front of them and they have to run after and chase it. This is where our product comes in. The Surefire grip ensures the top hand stays in place on a stick as an athlete is practicing and playing. Every lacrosse coach will tell you that the top hand is the most important part in developing good mechanics because it gives the ball direction and speed as it comes out of your stick when you're passing. In turn, keeping your top hand on the stick and using this grip develops correct muscle memory, which will allow your skills to develop at a faster pace than if you were not to use this grip. It is also adjustable to fit your preferences, so it can slide up and down the stick and fit how your mechanics are. Our plan moving forward is a three-headed attack. First, we want to go to tournaments in the tri-state area, meaning New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, that are sanctioned by U.S. Lacrosse. This will allow us to talk to more players and parents and start getting our name out there. Secondly, we want to have partnerships with programs in the northern New Jersey area, which include Building Blocks Lacrosse, a team that I played with and a coaching staff I played under, as well as NJIT, which means that we can have partnerships on both sides of the spectrum, all the way from youth programs to one of the highest collegiate levels. Lastly, we want to have a social media presence on Instagram and Twitter so we can start having more customer outreach and start developing a good brand reputation. We are pre-revenue, but part of our plan is to hit 3 milestones along the way. In January of 2021, we want to have 50 athletes of every skill level using our product so we can continue to develop and refine our product. By summer of 2021, we want to have at least 5 tournaments visited with a booth so we can start getting more recognition and start getting our name out there. And fall 2021, we want to have our production of our first batch of grips to sell. Now, we don't have a ton of competition in the lacrosse market. Our biggest competition is hockey tape, which is the tried and true method to put grip on a stick to tell you where your hands are. The difference between hockey tape and our grip is that our grip is more durable, it's easier to adjust, and it has a specific training purpose, as hockey tape is just used to give more grip and more feel on the stick when you have your gloves on. There's also a company called Butt Ends on the market, but they are purely a hockey tape replacement. It is a rubber grip that slides on the lower half of the stick and it has no training purpose whatsoever. Lastly, we know what we're talking about as a company. To expand on what I talked about in the beginning, I started playing lacrosse as a freshman in high school and I was mainly self-taught. Through hard work and practice, I was able to make it to the Division I level where I played against some of the best competition in the country. As an assistant coach at Wayne Valley, I helped coach the team to a county championship and also the quarterfinals of the state tournament. As well as being an athletic trainer, I've worked closely with athletes of every sport, but our main focus has always been lacrosse. On top of those three things, I spent 2.5 years as a mechanical engineering major before switching into the industrial design program at NJIT, where I'm on track to graduate in 2022. This means that I have both sides of the coin in terms of skills to help develop this company and help develop these products. If you have any questions, my email and phone number are on the slide. Thank you for listening.
My name's Yashvi, and I'm the founder of Relief, and I'm building a management tool for patients with brain injuries. Every year, 2.8 million Americans sustain a traumatic brain injury. 41% of those patients will not get a follow-up visit with their doctor within 3 months. And only 2% of a physician's time goes into communicating with their patients. So what does this mean? This means that patients are not getting the proper care that they need, and doctors are not able to efficiently communicate with their patients. And this is why TBI symptoms management needs to change. And Relief can change that. Relief is a remote patient monitoring system that tracks traumatic brain injury symptoms in between doctors' visits. Relief is solving these needs by providing at-home continuous check-ins, which will better the doctor-to-patient interactions and lead to improved treatment plans and a better patient prognosis. Relief has shown real traction with real users. We've conducted 17 user interviews with both former TBI patients and doctors, and had 11 patients in the beta run of our first MVP. For the first MVP, the patients were sent a weekly check-in every week for 4 weeks. The weekly check-in consisted of questions which asked the user to rank their symptoms on a scale of 1 to 10 and explain why they gave it that score. At the end of the 4 weeks, the patients were sent a personalized progress report outlining their 4 weeks. The chart on the left shows each of the weeks broken down by different categories of symptoms and why the patients gave those categories that score. And the chart on the right shows the score for the overall week and how they did in comparison to the rest of the weeks. There's a big market opportunity with TBI in the United States. Every year, $11.5 billion go towards direct costs related with TBI. $2.9 billion of that market is spent on neurologists and patient communication. And at least $113 million of that market lies right here within the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And our market strategy is by going to events, creating partnerships, and reaching out to online groups. This past January, I went to CES and I talked to different doctors, physicians, and early stage startups. I'm in conversation with a few neurologists from NYU and University Heights and a few high school sports teams. And I've reached out extensively to online Facebook TBI support groups and on other online platforms. In 3 years, we will have 50 neurologists within the Relief network. This means 49,000 TBI patients using Relief. $15 per month per patient will lead to $8.8 million in revenue. Relief is not the first of its kind in the market. However, it is by far the most advanced, as it will provide personalized AI weekly check-ins, HIPAA-compliant software, and a direct connection between the patient and their medical providers while being cost-effective. In the next 6 to 12 months, we will conduct trials with our second MVP. In the next 12 to 18 months, we will create an AI model using the training data that we are collecting from the first and second MVP. And in the next 18 to 24 months, we will get 50 neurologists on board. My team consists of me. I'm a third-year computer science major at NJIT. My research advisor is Dr. Juan. My business advisor is Will. And my ICOR advisor is David. If you would like to know more about Relief or get in contact with us, you can visit us at tbirelief.com or email me at tbirelief@gmail.com or my personal email. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Parth. I'm a founder in the Commonwealth Project. Today, I'm excited to share with you what we've built, what we've learned, and what's next. So, it's late March 2020. COVID-19 cases are spiking. New York and New Jersey have been hit the hardest. Exhausted, bruised, and traumatized doctors and nurses are sharing their war stories on social media, and hospitals are beginning to run out of personal protective equipment, or PPE, as the patients start to swarm in. The PPE industry failed to protect them. In April 2020, 91% of healthcare facilities had less than a 2-week supply of face shields remaining, and 35% had nothing at all. For us, our story began at Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey. Just 4,000 employees were expecting 300,000 COVID-19 patients. This is where our friends and family worked. This is where we volunteered and built relationships with the workers, doctors, nurses, and patients for years. The stories that we heard terrified us. They were getting ready to use garbage bags as gowns, and names were being written on the N95s so that they could be reused. Almost half of the COVID-19 patients in Bergen County were being housed here. So we knew that we had to do something to protect them. The good news was, all around the state, the community began to pitch in. They fired up the sewing machines and the 3D printers so they could make masks and shields in their basements and their garages. Holy Name got a 300 shield donation from one Teaneck teacher who had several printers in his basement. The Honors College challenged us to design a face shield, and we got to work too. But we realized that there was one obstacle that all of these volunteer operations were facing, which was scalability. That we could probably order the materials and build several hundred shields ourselves, and we did. How could we tap into this wider wellspring of volunteerism that the pandemic had exposed? People wanted to build shields. So how could we get the construction materials into the hands of people who wanted to build them so that we could have a much bigger impact? Our solution was a community-driven, decentralized production and delivery network for face shield construction kits. In each county, volunteers have shield construction kits home delivered to them by their drivers, who pick up finished shields at the end of the weekend for delivery to donation centers. Each county in which we operate is an autonomous region with a central distribution manager, its own drivers and constructors, and shield drop-off locations. The unique aspect of our system is its scalability. All we need to scale up production is to find a new volunteer in a new county that can run its own autonomous region, collect some additional support, and that county can run self-sufficiently. In just 3 months, entirely in quarantine, we raised $5,000 to build 5,000 disposable shields, and then partnered with the NJIT Makerspace with our model to build an additional 10,000 reusable shields by 200 volunteers that were donated to 40 plus locations in the state. Returning to Holy Name, we leveraged our relationships to build a direct pathway to the command center, donating 250 shields every single week until we donated 1,000 and fulfilled their need for the foreseeable future. So thankfully, over the past few months, both the case counts and hospitalizations in New Jersey have tapered. As we prepare for the school year, the Makerspace has begun to wind down its own production after successfully building 10,000 shields with us. So we're shifting the Commonwealth Project's operations to a rapid response model so that we can answer the call for PPE if COVID-19 cases spike again. When we asked ourselves what's next, though, we sought to maximize and apply our greatest assets. First, the students that we're driven by. Second, our multidisciplinary team. And third, our connection with the hospitals and healthcare centers that we're close to now. Our most important asset is our students. We have an interdisciplinary and high-performing core co-founding team of NJIT engineering students. Juliana and I are both biomedical engineering students. Mark is a Mechie. Ade is an ECE student. In leading this project, we had the opportunity to gain incredible experiences in engineering design, supply chain, and product management. But we were especially proud that as we scaled, we onboarded 10 additional students and extended the opportunity for them to manage the logistics on our operational counties, working on new versions of our websites, and develop an application to coordinate the logistics of the project. The importance of innovation in healthcare can't be understated right now. We have a high-performing team that has delivered proven success, and we want to turn our focus to catalyzing this innovation by connecting innovative startups with high-initiative students that are eager for experience. That's demonstrated by our 100% student-run organization. Students are galvanized by high autonomy projects where they can have an impact and are ready to work for experience and bring a fresh growth mindset to any organization. We have a great resource that's ready to be channeled. Let's talk about how we can give students the ability to grow their skills as leaders and startups the ability to innovate. Here's our contact information. We'd love to talk with you. Thanks for your time.
Hi, my name is Andrew Alcock, and I'm the founder of H2Go. H2Go creates innovative hydration products for the active person and is changing the way we drink water. A little bit about me. I'm an industrial design student and a student athlete at NJIT. As a student athlete, I'm constantly being reminded of the importance of staying properly hydrated. As an industrial designer, I have the resources to make a product that deals with this issue. So a little bit more about me. I've been going camping with my family since I was about 7 years old. And here's a little blackmail picture of us on one of our first camping trips. Over the years, our camping trips started to involve hiking, canoeing, biking, and other activities that require you to stay hydrated while your hands are occupied. When carrying around water bottles didn't quite cut it, we turned to hydration packs. And for those of you who aren't familiar with hydration packs, this is a hydration pack. It's basically a backpack, and inside is a plastic bag with a flexible straw coming out of it. The main problems I've had with hydration packs was that they're always like a pain in the butt to clean, and the water had a distinct plasticky chemical taste to it. And some basic customer discovery assured me that I'm not the only one who has experienced these issues. These things get very, very dirty very quickly. In fact, water reservoirs need to be cleaned after every single use. What you see here is a picture of a water reservoir that wasn't cleaned properly in between uses. All the dark spots you see are bacteria growth. And I know what you may be thinking. This is an extreme example. The average reusable water container probably isn't this filthy. I hate to be the one to bring this to your attention, but the average reusable water container was found to have over 100 times the amount of colony-forming units of bacteria per square centimeter as the average dog toy. You might as well be drinking out of a petri dish. So our product solves this problem by removing the water reservoir entirely. H2Go features a universal valve that allows it to fit onto any off-the-shelf bottle of water. This turns your bottle of water into a hands-free hydration pack with a single twist. While we've identified unique market opportunities for our bottled water hydration product, we do realize that our larger target market is environmentally conscious. So our next product would be a variation that fits reusable water bottles. Our clear early adopters are those who own hydration packs. The hydration pack market alone was valued at $310 million in 2018 and is forecasted to grow up to about $780 million in 2025. So this is great news for us, but our marketing opportunities don't stop with the hydration pack market. Through customer discovery, we found that we would have success selling to bikers, runners, hikers, backpackers, music festivals, amusement parks, the list just goes on. And as far as manufacturing goes, for a run of about 1,000 units, our cost per unit is around $7 a unit. And from our competitor analysis, we've concluded that we would be competitive in this market space at about $30 price point. And with these numbers, we would make $18,000 gross profit on our first production run. So also during our market research, we found that almost 50% of hydration packs are purchased at specialty stores, camping sports stores. So we've started conversations with some big box specialty stores, including local branches of Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela's, and REI, to better understand their product selection process. I've also reached out to some nature-centered resorts like Mohonk Mountain House and gift shop suppliers like Kelly's to figure out what the next steps are for us to put our product on their shelves. Currently, we're continuing to tweak our product, and we're also reaching out to potential distributors. And in the next few months, we plan to finalize our prototype, test it in the hands of early suppliers or early adopters, settle on a supplier specialty store to enter, and then ultimately begin our first production run. So we definitely have the right team to do this. With myself as the founder, I have Will Lutz as my business mentor. He's a great resource and knows what it takes to have a successful startup. And Matthew Schwartz is my product development mentor. He's highly respected in the industrial design world and is rich in experience and knowledge of product design. So if you'd like to learn more about my product or think you or someone you know could be an asset to my team, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your time and attention.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Salib, military veteran and founder of VentureLink. I had the pleasure of serving 4.5 years in one of the finest fighting forces ever created. In case there's any confusion of which branch that is, obviously the United States Marine Corps. While in the Marine Corps, I was assigned to a reconnaissance unit, where it was our job to be the eyes and ears for operating forces. Reconnaissance missions can be accomplished a few different ways, but generally it involves a lot of walking. And I do mean a lot. This is because physically getting out there and conducting a reconnaissance is by far the most accurate image you can paint for a commander. Now you may be thinking, what's wrong with walking? It's good exercise, it's relaxing, and generally it's the best way to get from point A to B. But putting my pride aside, I'll be the first to tell you, it sucked. When picking a route for reconnaissance, the goal is to try and pick the route your enemy is least likely to use. So that means you'll be traversing through some pretty rough terrain, turning what would normally seem like a short distance into hours of painstakingly pushing through thick vegetation. This is a drastic waste of valuable time for our troops on the ground. Reconnaissance missions also require manpower, limiting a platoon's ability to act and react while further putting troops in harm's way. Now, given this reality seen through my own personal experience, there is an urgent need to enhance reconnaissance methods, one that can be easily accessible to troops on the ground, as well as provide an in-depth description of the battlefield. Here at VentureLink, we are a team of hardware and software engineers who are revolutionizing reconnaissance capabilities through our innovations in communications and unmanned aerial systems. Our team are building affordable drones that communicate through a secure and long-range mesh network. Now, there are currently drones who aim to resolve this issue, but what makes our drones unique is their ability to extend the distance in which they can communicate with the user. This is done by passing data through a secure mesh network created by the drones. A good way to visualize this is to think of each drone in the swarm as a router where they work together to form a network where they share and pass information. This not only extends the distance in which a user will be able to receive live feed, but also adds a layer of redundancy in the case of failure of one or multiple units. The network created by our drones can also be used to enhance other communication methods used by the military. After some further customer discovery, we decided to fit our platform with an infrared floodlight that can be used to illuminate this battle space for troops conducting night missions. This also has the extended ability to mark targets to aid in directions of fire and the coordination of air support. By implementing an affordable design, we aim to give troops the option to not have to recover these drones if deemed too costly or too dangerous. This is done to give the military peace of mind that technology will not fall into enemy hands, as well as a measure to help preserve human life. With that in hand, we set out and conducted a customer discovery of over 50 members, ranging from enlisted and commissioned officers within the fields of infantry, special forces, and the Advanced Schoolhouse of Infantry. The 4 key issues brought up during our customer discovery were that the drones currently being tested are expensive, and that due to that high price tag, they need to be recovered if brought down. We were given an example where one customer spent 3 days in an attempt to relocate a lost drone, wasting valuable time and resources for the military. The next recurring theme was the difficulty of replacing damaged parts, especially while deployed. It was discovered that customers would like the ability to 3D print their own parts so they wouldn't have to wait an excessive amount of time for replacements. I personally remember waiting anywhere from 1 to 6 months for replacement parts, and that's when I was in the United States. If you're forward deployed in another country, it was likely you may never see that part. Finally, the most recurring themes were issues with communications and the desire for infrared illumination. As far as communication goes, these issues were not just with the drones currently being tested, where they lose the ability to produce live feed over great distances, but with communication as a whole. Troops need a more efficient and reliable way of establishing communications, one that our platform offers. As far as infrared, it was discovered that our customers wanted a quieter and longer-lasting method of providing illumination, as well as a versatile way to mark targets. So according to the IDC, the future for innovations within unmanned aerial systems is bright. Goldman Sachs estimates the global total available market for drones at $100 billion, $70 billion of which is spent by militaries across the globe, $16.3 billion of which is spent by our own government. And ladies and gentlemen, it gets better, because this is projected to grow by a 33.3% compound annual growth rate between the years 2020 and 2025. Because we're not burdened by the bureaucracy of big business, we plan to enter the market through our ability to respond swiftly and dynamically with innovative ideas not yet capitalized by competitors. First, by applying for SBIR grants relevant to our product to aid in the funding and creation of our mesh network. Then, by incorporating that network into our drone platform. And finally, by marketing to the military. So before wrapping up, I'd like to formally introduce you all to the rest of my team at Volant. Irvin Guzman is a recent computer engineering graduate with experience in designing and testing computer hardware and software systems. He is responsible for the development and testing of our product. Jay Rania is a computer science student currently in his senior year with 6 years of experience in advanced programming, computer, and software systems. He is responsible for the development of our network technology implemented within our product. We appreciate you all taking the time to learn more about our accomplishments here at Volant, and we hope to hear from you soon, whether that's insight or feedback. Thank you all.
Wow, that was phenomenal, guys. That was great. Well, on behalf of NJIT, the New Jersey Innovation Institute, and the VentureLink team, we want to thank all of you for tuning in to our live cast for the first ever VentureLink Showcase.
If you have a startup and you need some support, this is only our first cohort. We would love to talk to you about your startup ideas and how we can help. Thank you all.